How's it? Welcome to the podcast. You're listening to Green Dog Blitz, hosted by Brian Anderson and Yeravon Agogian. Throughout the show, we'll attempt to control the line of scrimmage. Right, let's get to it. All right, buddy, 2025 NFL football is upon us. As you know, we're about halfway, maybe, getting close. Week 8 is here. Week 7's in the hopper. How does everything go, Brian?
Everything goes, baby. At this point, at one point in time, we were halfway through the season, then they extended it, right? So now
Right.
there's really no midpoint in the season, I guess. But yeah, another week of football is in the hopper, like you like to say, and we get to
Mhm.
look forward to another one starting tomorrow because we're recording on Wednesday here. But
Mhm.
yeah, a lot to talk about. We'll try and fly through it in the allotted time. Heading on number one, from what I saw, was this stat is kind of crazy. We'll call it the all-time choke job. So NFL teams had won 1,602 straight games when leading by 18 or more points in the final 6 minutes of regulation. Right? Seems like a reasonable stat until the Giants gave up a 19-point lead. They were up 26-8 with 6 minutes left, and they snapped the streak. Choke job, man. That's I listened to a lot of pundits talking about this, and there is a lot of like moral victories for the Giants. It was crazy. And like after that kind of loss, they're like, well, they have a lot going for them still, but dude, if you can't put a game away like that, you got problems.
Bri, I am with
Right?
you. Giants got 99 problems, and I'm telling you right now. Um, I looked and it was 19-0, beginning of the fourth, right quarter, and all of a sudden this happens. I mean, this has never been done before. You just brought up the stat. They were the first time to do it. It's about protecting the lead in the NFL, and as you know, with 17 games you alluded to earlier, there is no
Mhm.
halfway point in the season. It's hard to win any game with a parity driven league like it is. And if you're going to make the playoffs, you've got to at least have what, 9 wins minimum, maybe 10 to get in the playoffs these days. I don't think 500 is going to do it with the 17-week schedule. And so you've got to get every win you can get. And that was a win for the Giants. They had that in the bag. And you know what? They just let open the bag. The snake came out and it slithered away. So shame on them. It is incredible. If you were watching that game just like I was, sure you were just like mouth agape going, what am I watching? So interesting, entertaining. I got to tell you that. But you know what? Giants lost that. I don't think the Broncos won it. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I agree, and that's a game that I turned off. I was not interested at all after that. So, uh, much to my surprise, and I don't remember where that game was. I think it was in Denver, wasn't it?
Sounds about right. Yeah.
But yeah, and so to be one of those fans that gave up and left, shame on them.
I
Shame on
agree,
them.
Brian. Right. Also, I saw you put a stat up for the headline number 2. Jalen Hurts was on fire, huh? I'm not quite sure how they come to that to become to that number that they use for a perfect passer rating, 158.3 rating. But you know, Jalen Hurts had a 158.3 rating, which is a perfect passer rating.
Yeah.
Interesting number, point 0.3 there, but incredible. Guy was on fire. Whew.
Yeah, I didn't like it too much because it was against my Vikings, But
Mhm.
I felt like they would just chip away, and then boom, it'd explode with these long passes, and they had the Vikings number. So yeah, hats off to Jalen Hurts. He's a quarterback, and I was watching that game, and
Mhm.
the Vikings were on offense, and they had Carson Wentz's stats on the in the corner, and I'm like. I kept thinking, like, why are they showing the Eagles stats? I like totally regressed thinking that Carson Wentz was the quarterback for the Eagles. There, it's kind of funny how your mind does that. But yeah, the Vikings are in need of a starting quarterback.
Aren't they? Yeah. If Wentz wanted the job, I don't think he's going to get a grip on it after that game. Also, I was curious, Brian, to kind of dovetail off your perfect passer rating, which is a nice highlight for Jalen. They needed a good couple wins here. Um, what about when a quarterback throws it to the wide receiver right in the breadbasket, right in the numbers, whatever term you want to use, right in his hands, right where it's supposed to be, and he just lets it go off his hands and it ricochets and a defensive back catches it or a defense player catches it, interception. Now, is that the quarterback's fault? Statistically correct, right? That could
Yeah.
ruin Jalen Hurts' perfect rating if that had happened. But
Mhm.
what about? I'm going to kind of propose a new statistical. Everyone's all about stats and AI and analytics. What about like a la baseball air? How about the big E? We give him an air. And so it doesn't count against the perfect quarter or the quarterback rating. That would maybe go against the wide receiver stats. Maybe it would be a deflected pass or an air, call it what you will. So that way we have a little more statistics that actually make sense of what is actually painting the picture of the game. What do you think?
Yeah, actually, I think that's brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're right. If a third baseman makes a one hop throw to the first baseman and it's right there and whiffs it or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
um, the air goes on to the first baseman and it makes sense. And that's kind of a judgment call, I guess, by the statistician. But I think that we could probably all know that that should have been a completed pass and it should go against the receiver. And I'll tell you, all these fantasy people, they think that probably should be the same way, you know?
So
So,
I didn't even think about the fantasy aspect or the gambling aspect when you view
right.
those prop bets, how many catches he's going to make or whatever.
Hmm.
Yeah, good call, bro. Or
Yeah.
interceptions versus touchdowns, props. Um, Speaking of baseball, sorry, I got sidetracked. World Series is starting, Bry. Isn't that crazy, huh? It's a
Yeah.
world out there right now with NBA starting up last night. Baseball World Series is in full swing. You got NFL halfway through. Oh, we got your Timberwolves representing. If all your listeners
Oh,
on Green Dog Blitz, we appreciate you. If you're watching on YouTube too, we've got us on YouTube. If you want to look at us, use us Trulies. Brian's got his representing the Timberwolves.
yeah.
I love it.
It's a great time of year for sports fans. I
Mhm.
mean, like there's so many things I'm like, looking to do in the evening while I could read a book. I could take the dog on a walk. No, no, no. I'm gonna watch Thursday night football. The next night, oh, the Wolves are in tonight, Wednesday night, and then of course, yeah, the World Series. I love October
And
baseball,
we're
man.
forgetting about something, Brian. You're in the hockey state. We're forget. Let's not forget hockey's in full swing too. That just started up a few weeks ago, so it's a good
Yeah,
time. You're right. Great time to be
yeah,
a sports fan. I love it.
it is. All right, back to the
All right,
headlines.
moving on. Yeah. How about this? Crazy statistic of the day. One of them. How about this one, Brian? Kansas City had 30 first downs versus Las Vegas, um, who ran 30 plays. Is that
That's
really a
insane.
true stat?
I don't
Yeah,
know. Yeah.
it's
That
blowing my
was
mind.
Why do I feel like we're going to be talking about Las Vegas later in this program? I don't know, but yeah, that was not.
Foreshadowing.
One thing I thought about this. I mean, Kansas City's turned their season around. They didn't start off too strong, and now they're looking like the Chiefs again. But you need to do what they did to bad teams. A good team should just shut down a bad team and just be like, "Listen, this is child's play." Like you're in the wrong league here. So they did good. Hats off to them. They did what they should have done.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Brian. However, they did what they should have done, but Vegas shouldn't have looked as bad as they did. This is the NFL. You've got to get more than a donut, a zilch, a zero, a nada, a goose egg. I mean, that is just putrid. And we'll talk about them later, like you said. Good
For
call.
sure.
Let's move
Yeah.
on before we run out of time. One of our favorite segments, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let's talk about the good. Start off. How about kind of caught my eye a three-way tie for first place in the NFC West division. I mean, how cool is that? All three teams are 5-2, I believe, that are on top. Let's forget about the Arizona Cardinals. But how about who's not doing too good? But how about the Rams, the Niners, and the Seahawks all in first place at 5-2? That is really good. So I think that's cool. And not to be outdone, NFC North. Every team in the NFC North is better than 500 or 500. There's no losing record. So I think
Hmm.
that those two divisions, I got to give them are good for the week.
One note on the Cardinals, who and we don't always speak that highly of, unfortunately. No offense, guys. But I think all of their losses, all of their games, actually, all seven games
Mhm.
have been decided within a score. So they're close. Actually, their point differential is one off. So the 153 for and 154 against. So they're playing in tight games, but it comes down to knowing how to win versus playing not to lose. So I don't know. Interesting. Yeah, that is good. What
Super
else?
interesting. How about the bad? I was thinking NFL Pro Bowl just because I recently saw an article about the format and the location and the event time all changing. They just keep on changing this up every couple years. They can't get it right. My take here is ever since the NFL left Honolulu and Hawaii, where the Pro Bowl was played, it's never gotten it right since. And I know Aloha Stadium right now is going through a renovation, so it's not available for the next 5 or so years, but it will be eventually again. And right now, they've got to get that thing back in Honolulu because the players loved it. It's a family event. They take their family, they go overseas, 5 hour flight, maybe 10 hour flight if you're on the East Coast, but you're in Hawaii. Who doesn't want to go there, especially in the winter? And it's a nice reward. It's not a nice reward going to Orlando or San Francisco or wherever the Super Bowl's played. It used to be the week after the Super Bowl. Then they moved it to that bye week, which I thought made sense. Either way, who cares where you put it? Just don't put it with the Super Bowl. That's the new news. It's going to be during the Super Bowl. It's in a ballroom that holds 4,000 people. They're going to play a flag football game there
What?
near the field in San Francisco this year. Oh,
Oh
so
man.
stinky, stinky bad. Hey, you just got a Pro Bowl award, Brian. And guess what? You're going to where the Super Bowl is to watch the winners play, and you're a loser. Have fun, even though you made the Pro Bowl.
That's so funny, dude. Yeah, that is really funny. I agree. It was a reward to go to Hawaii. Hawaiians probably love to be able to watch football. I mean, like take the NFL to Hawaii, not to Brazil. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know, whatever. But that's really interesting. No, in a
Super. And
ballroom. Maybe they're just trying to phase it out, slowly. They're just trying to shuffle it out, so they'll notice that it's not there anymore. I don't know.
all right. How about the ugly bride? UGLY, Miami Dolphins. I'm going to start calling the Miami Minnows. They're being called the Miami Minnows until they're better. Then they get the Dolphin name back. I mean, the wheels, the axle, it all came off going down the freeway going like 4 miles an hour because I can't even get up to 60, 55. I mean, they lost 31-6 in Cleveland. Worth noting, the Browns got their first victory by a 25-point margin. First time in 2 years. I mean, they beat down the Dolphins, and they can't beat down anybody.
Mm-mm.
Tua T is obviously not the future. They unfortunately paid him like he was, Bry. I will give the Fins for, taking the credit for taking a swing at a franchise quarterback, all important, but the swing was clearly a miss. Mike
Mhm.
McDaniel is going to lose his job, I think, head coaching. It's just a matter
Mhm.
of when. Sooner than later, who knows? Tua T, 12 for 23, 100 yards, 3 INTs, and some fumbling issues. Fins are 1-6. They are officially toast, and this franchise needs a serious teardown and rebuild. Correct?
Yeah, I mean, how the mighty have fallen. They look like they were going to be a couple years ago. They were on fire. They're especially on the offense. Mike McDaniels looked like a genius in his pulled up uh, joggers. Like what a fashion trend, and now it's
And
not
those
so hot
and those
anymore.
snazzy like 70s,
Yeah,
late 70s, early
he's
80s like glasses. Yeah, I love it.
yeah,
Well,
good for
speaking of
him.
speaking of looking good, but not anymore. Get us back to looking good, Brian. Where we going?
All right, let's take a walk down the red carpet spotlight. What do you say? Uh, yeah, it's always kind of fun to step on the spotlight or the red carpet and show off your wear. Um, l- you have usually kind of go back and I'll go forward here, but what you see that you liked this last week?
Um, I think you like it. I don't think I do, but the Bengals came out with their white tiger unis, they call them. I'm going to
Hmm.
call them the zebra uniforms. They look like zebras to me, not Bengals, but do you like it?
I do, I do.
Yeah,
I've always liked it actually, and nothing's
cool.
changed. So yeah, that was good.
Interesting.
And then yeah.
Browns going all brown. I mean, brown everything except for like two orange stripes on their helmet. The helmet looked pretty cool, but just with the whole yoga uni mono, I guess they call it mono brown, it doesn't work for me. You?
No, but I do think having brown just makes sense to me. I do like the brown. Throw an orange stripe on their pants, make them a
Okay.
little baggier, maybe.
Yeah.
And yeah, yeah.
I think
So
you're onto something there. And then everyone's talking about this, right, Brian? The Chargers.
yeah,
They
I,
call it the Charger Power look. It's all mono gold, everything gold except for the white helmet. I, I don't even know where to go with this banana boat.
no.
I don't know what is it.
Right. It's not a split decision. It's not a banana split decision. Nobody likes it. So that
I
was
don't.
interesting.
It would have looked better, I must say, though, because I saw some mock-up photos. If and they didn't do it, but they had that with their powder blue socks, would have made it look a little better. But whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I'm not, the what do you call that? The uniform guy. What do you call that
Hmm.
guy on the team? Whatever. Okay, Lions, all black uniforms, with a black lion logo on that blue helmet. I give them credit for trying something different. I've seen it before with them. It looks kind of cool. However, it reminds me too much of the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah. I wanted to like it. You
Same.
know, I think it's almost
Yeah.
like they need to outline the lion more with like a
Uh-huh.
white or something, or maybe
Mm-hmm.
even a silver. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But looking forward and picking up where we left off here, there's actually a lot of black and blue trending this week. The Titans, Texans, and you mentioned the Panthers, all have black and blue helmets. So if you don't like that look, I think you're going to be seeing it a lot more, and you might get used to it. The Eagles, the Vikings, and Broncos are all going back to the basics with some throwback uniforms. This is like with a classic. I'm talking about the Vikings right now. That helmet with the horn is just kind of old school. They've kind of made it a little more 3D in recent years. So I'm excited about that on Thursday Night Football. And the Packers and Steelers are donning a new look. I think we'll have to do a double take when we're watching this game to see which team is which. The Steelers will be wearing all yellow helmets and jerseys. And the front is almost like they're wearing suspenders from the drawing that I saw. So it's like it's almost like a brown bib, and then it comes
Yeah.
up along the collar, just on the front.
No.
Yeah. So hello. And then the Packers will be wearing their Arctic uniforms. So lots to take in this week in Fashion Week in the NFL.
We'll be back at it next week, listeners. Thanks for listening to Green Dog Blitz, or watching. How about the random statistics of the week, Brian? Ready? I got a couple for you. Interesting ones. This is all according to CBS Sports. Uh, Detroit Lions, 51 straight games without suffering a back-to-back loss after their win last week and then losing the week before. Interesting. I mean, hey, Dan Campbell's doing something right there, man.
Oh, for
You could
sure.
have said you couldn't be said that about the Lions even 4 years ago. I think it's awesome. Another random stat, uh, with the loss last week, we talked about the Cardinals. You were hitting the head on the nail. They have now tied an NFL record for most consecutive losses by 4 points or less. This is the fifth time it's happened in the NFL. Hopefully, they don't set the actual record, and be alone by themselves next week. So keep an eye on that. And then lastly, another weird stat of the week. Cowboys haven't won 2 straight games at any point in this season. So talk about a yo-yo season for the Cowboys. We'll see what happens. So I thought those were interesting according to CBS stats. And I'm going to move on in lieu of time to one of our great segments, mainstays on the show. Brian, what do you got?
All right, it's time for positive yardage, where we highlight the good happening off the field in the NFL. We always kind of spotlight a Thursday night team. The home team this Thursday night is the Los Angeles Chargers hosting the Minnesota Vikings, and they're lighting up more than the scoreboard this season, and they do light it up. They're shining a light of hope across the community. I got three players I want to spotlight. Safety Derwin James Jr. is leading with his heart, inspiring students with his story and encouraging them to chase purpose over fame, even delivering a university commencement address honoring his impact off the field. He actually got an honorary degree. And quarterback Justin Herbert continues to give back through the team's Community Corner program that partners supporting kids fighting cancer, using his platform to open up doors and bring joy to families who need it most. And then my favorite name in sports, Cameron Dicker the kicker. He's a Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee. We talk about that oftentimes in this segment. He spends his free time visiting children's hospitals and standing beside those in life's toughest battles. These players remind us that real victory happens beyond the field in every act of kindness, compassion, and service. So, we just use this segment to encourage our listeners to take a play out of the playbook of these players and do some research. Find a cause that stirs your heart and look for ways to move the chains for someone else. And that's how we all gain a little positive yardage. There you go.
Right. That's
Short and
awesome,
sweet,
Brian.
baby. Yeah.
Great way to highlight, like you said, a great cause there. You laid it out. If people want to dive deeper, they've got the platform now. Nice job, Brian. Moving on to one of my favorite segments. No respect.
Well, that's the story of my life. No respect.
And you know what? It's going to be another kicker. Last week we talked about Moody for the Chicago Bears. How about the guy that replaced Moody on the Niners? How about, let me get the name right, Eddie Pinheiro. Okay. Now, hey, I don't know if you know anything about this guy. Okay.
I do a
So,
little bit. I'll tell you
okay,
why when you're
this
done.
is awesome. Okay, cool. You got 2 tickets to paradise, Brian? Okay, here we go, buddy. San Francisco, after week 2, right? Fired Moody, and they're like, we need a kicker. So they're looking around, and usually you just get a guy off the practice squad or some guy that's got cut somewhere else, give him another chance. But Eddie was out of work for 2 years, just sitting there, not retired, just out of work. Nobody picked him up. And they're sitting there, and I'm looking at his stats. George Lynch, the GM for the Niners, are looking at his stats, and he goes, double take. He goes, what? This guy's sitting on the sideline for 2 years. No one's interested. And he's got the 4th best field goal kicking percentage in the NFL. Give him a chance. We need you, Mellon. Get off the bench. Do the triple Lindsay. Let's go. And so guess what? Eddie Pinheiro gets in there. And so far this season, since week 2, he's taken over for the kicking job, field goal for the Niners, 17 for 17 on field goals. I love it, buddy. He's been awesome. He's kicking butt, and he's also got a great nickname, Bry. You know about that?
I don't know. What is it?
Oh, they call him Eddie Money because his
good.
last name is Pinheiro. You ready for this? He's of Latin descent. Eddie Dinero, which is money in Spanish. So Eddie Dinero, Eddie Money. I
I
love it.
love it. So I don't remember you mentioned him in week 2 of the Green Dog Blitz and mentioned these stats. And at that time, I make a lot of moves in my fantasy football league,
Mm-hmm.
and so you brought him to my attention, and with those stats, I was like, man, I'm gonna pick him up. He has ascended to like the number 1 or 2 kicker, and he's racking up points for me, man. So thank you for that. I listen to Green Dog Blitz, and I take away. So
Oh, I should be listening harder because I just been doing the kicker shuffle on my fantasy team. I can't get a guy that can kick. What am I doing? I got to pay more attention myself. Oh,
yeah,
good call, Brian. That's awesome. And the
that's
talking about
great.
the quarter. Remember how we talk about the quarterback shuffle a lot in the NFL? Just retrend quarterbacks, retread them. Coaching carousel always moving and coming. Now the field goal kicking carousel is happening. Everyone's getting fired for missing. The Giants just fired their kicker after his 2 losses or 2 misses, extra points or field goals, whatever they were. I mean, people are just having no patience with kickers anymore. So kudos for the ones that are sticking.
No, do you have any trivia for me?
Okay, so here we go. Couple questions for you, Brian. What year did the Chargers join the NFL as a football franchise? Was it 1980? Was it 1970, 1950, or 1972?
Wow, you're all over the place with those choices.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with 70.
Bing, bing, bing. Great
Ooh,
call, Bry. They're part of
nice.
the AFL for a long time. And one more question for you. Nice, that was a great call. 1970, when they did join the NFL, what city did they start their franchise in?
Specifically,
Mm-hmm.
uh, boy, I don't know. Was it Oceanside? Was it down in San Diego area? I don't know.
I like your guess. And they actually started their very first season in 1970 as the LA Chargers.
Oh boy.
Only one year, and then after that, they went to San Diego and were there for 59 years before they unceremoniously bailed out back to LA. So, thanks for playing, Brian. That's my little LA San Diego / Charger trivia.
They got one of the greatest like cheers when they were the San Diego Superchargers, right? I mean, that was awesome.
Gosh,
But
San Diego needs another team. Hopefully, the NFL years from now they're going to do a Europe expansion and everything else. But I think San Diego probably needs to get a team at some point. Man, they were awesome down there, and the
yeah,
people supported them too. It's too bad. Okay, how about we're highlighting L.A. because that's where the home team is on Thursday Night Football. Thanks for listening to Green Dog Blitz. And I thought Hollywood when you think L.A. Correct? So I did a little research, and I'm going to quickly highlight the top 10 football movies that stood out to me, Brian. Are you ready for this? I'm going to rapidly hit it up.
all right.
Number 1, The Longest Yard, 1974 movie. Burt Reynolds original version. I'm talking about, not the Adam Sandler trash remake. How about North Dallas 40, a 1979 movie with Nick Nolte? Super acclaimed book, by the way. So read the book first. It's an inside look of the underbelly of the NFL. How about Friday Night Lights, 2004 movie? Texas high school football's no joke, buddy. And Billy Bob Thornton coaching him up. How about Any Given Sunday, 1999 movie with Al Pacino as head coach? Oliver North directing the movie. Yes, I'm in. How about Jerry Maguire, 1996? Tomcat Cruise as a sports agent to wide receiver Cuba Gooding Jr. Classic. The Replacements. The Replacements, 2000 movie. Quarterback Kuno Reeves and head coach Gene Hackman. I'm in. Invincible, 2006 movie. Mark Wahlberg telling the Vince Papale story. Eat your hearts out, Eagles fans. Awesome movie. How about The Water Boy, 1998 Adam Sandler comedy and football pads? I'm sure you can see how it goes. Semi-Tough, 1977, Burt Reynolds and Chris Christopherson? Why not? And how about Brian's Song, 1971, super heavy-duty tearjerker, James Caan and Billy D. Williams. So if any younger audience hasn't heard any of these older movies, take a look at them. They're great. You guys let us know what you think. Am I missing anything, Brian?
Yeah. What about Rudy?
Yeah. I kind of kept like that one and The Blind Side out because they're both kind of controversial, because like that whole real life news with the Blind Side guy with his family kind of got weird. And then that whole Rudy thing, like retrospectively later, like 20 years later, somebody like busted that story and said it wasn't really accurate and it wasn't the way it went down. And so I kind of tried to stay away from those because I don't know if those are accurate. I mean, it's a movie, so who cares? But I felt like those two movies were trying to be accurate. And maybe they weren't.
Yeah, but it's still a pretty popular movie. Blindside too. I had actually forgotten about that one. Hey, how about this? You mentioned Waterboy and Adam Sandler. I'm going to see Adam Sandler perform tonight.
No, you're
So
not.
yeah, I am.
What is it? Is it like a stand-up thing or what?
Yeah, he's got a show. He's touring.
You gotta
So
be kidding me. Oh wow.
I don't know. I can't wait to see what it is. So
I wonder if he's
I'll
gonna
let you
play
know.
some music. Yeah, I'll probably play some
Oh,
music too.
I'm sure he will, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I always love his movies. I think he's funny. I love Happy Gilmore, but yeah,
I
we'll
love the
see.
first half. I love the first half of his movies. Adam Sandler to me always has the first half of his movies are always so funny, and the second half takes a serious turn. And I'm like, bro, just stick with the comedy. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of mixed feelings with him. But let's talk about mixed feelings. I think you got some strong feelings on this one coming up. Minnesota Vikings at the Los Angeles Chargers, baby. Thursday night football. Who you got? Chargers are at home. Minus 3.5, according to ESPN Bet. They always got that hook. Home
Yeah.
team's Chargers. Want to take it away first, Brian, and I'll follow suit.
Yeah, the Vikes, man. They're hard to say. I'm always leading with my heart here, but they're kind of hard to pick lately. Last weekend was not a great performance by any means by backup quarterback Carson Wentz. We mentioned him earlier, so there's a lot of uncertainty surrounding him. He'll be starting again because JJ McCarthy's not quite ready to come back and play. But the Chargers, the defense has been allowing a lot lately, and so they're vulnerable. We've got a great defensive coordinator. Obviously a great not head coach, I should say. Obviously, I don't know, maybe it's not. But Vikings on the road, they need to stay on pace with the rest of the NFC North, as you mentioned. I mean, it's a heavy battle there in the north here. But I'm not going to take the Chargers. Give me the Vikings. Always, all day, every
Attaboy,
day.
Brian. Yeah, buddy. According to ESPN matchup indicator, ready for this one?
Oh yeah.
49.3% chance Minnesota wins, 50.3 chance Chargers win. That's not much
Wow.
going on as far as a split difference. It's 50-50. It's a coin toss. I think the Chargers are hot and cold, just like the Vikings. You can't quite pin them down. One week it's another. One it's Dr. Jekyll. Next week it's Hyde. I'm with you on that, and Brian. I'm just going to take a flyer on the Vikings here, being needing a win, maybe a little more in the Chargers, just because Wentz is like, hey, this is my last shot before JJ comes back. Let me show a little resume builder for the next team
Mhm.
that if I even want to have a career left in the NFL. Maybe the Chargers have a quick memory to forget, but they just can't quite win it when they need to. And we've talked about this. Seal the dang game up when you got the lead, and they can't do it. I'm going to feed off the Vikings hungrier a little more because they're on the road, desperado. a little more desperate. They're on the bottom of their division, and they need to keep pace and win this if they have any chance to make the playoffs. I think they know that. Chargers are a little more favorable position with their division. So give me the Vikings begrudgingly.
If it only came down to will, right? Your willpower.
Yeah.
It doesn't, but we'll see. I think the Chargers are going to try and air
I
it
do.
out. Look for them to pass a lot. But yeah.
And I do like the 0.5. If the Vikings can keep this within a field goal, obviously, hey, you're with Vegas, you're betting against Vegas, you're going to take that win by 0.5. And Vegas is not stupid. Vegas wasn't built overnight. It was built in our pockets. They know what they're doing. But I think this can be a field goal game. So let's stick with that theory and see what happens, Brian.
All right, sounds good. Well, hey, as our listeners know, and anybody who's new, this Green Dog Blitz. We're grateful for your listenership. We come out every Thursday before the Thursday night football game, and we break things down and control the line of scrimmage. So be sure to sign up and subscribe to our podcast. All right, moving on. Which teams do you think are sitting pretty, but more importantly, which do you think are in panic mode?
Any team above 500 right now, I think is sitting pretty, just with the whole theory of you got to go at least 500 or more to make the playoffs. Halfway through the season, you're 500, you got a chip in a chair. But right now, the Jets still on this panic mode button, buddy. I'm breaking glass in case of emergency. I'm like, getting my zombie apocalypse bag out, ready for the end of the world. This is not good. 0-7 Jets, no bueno. They are the only NFL team without a victory after 7 attempts so far. And like you like to say, Brian, direct quote from Brian, they are the best 0-7 team in the NFL, huh? Oof.
Undisputed.
All right. Moving on. Quickly, we're going to get a little Blake's take, and you tell me what you think. I'll tell you what I think, and then we'll get into some picks on a 4-pack, Brian. Blake's take. Ready for this one? The Dolphins he's a procrastinator. What do you say?
Procrastinator?
No.
Oh, prognosticator.
Prognosticator. Okay, does he know the future? Here we go. Dolphins waiting to fire McDaniel until Friday on the 31st, Halloween. He's claiming they will lose to Baltimore with Lamar Jackson returning on Thursday Night Football on the 30th. Then they'll have a bye week in week 10 for the Fins, and that will give them a new hire head coach 10 days to try and create some kind of new coach bounce back. And if they can reinvigorate Tua, it's probably a hopeless endeavor. But if they can, maybe this guy might stick around. But he's claiming McDaniel's job is over after this week. What do you think?
I like a guy with common sense, and that's Blake. Sounds like he's got some common sense. Yeah, I think he's spot on, man. Why not? Give a guy some chance to succeed, right? And that's obviously not Mr. McDaniel's right now. So the next guy up, right? So I can't wait to see how it plays out.
Yeah, I'm totally with Blake on this one. I think he's rubbing the crystal ball the correct way. It makes sense with the bye week he mentioned coming up after this game. But we'll see what happens, and that's why we both like it, and we'll see if it happens. Good call, Blake. Moving right along, are we moving into a 4-pack, Brian? Is that where we're at? Because it might be time to crack and stack a 4-pack, baby. It's time. Us versus Vegas. Can we bust their spread and show them who's right? Let's do it, buddy. All right. First game on our tall boy 4-pack pick. Buffalo at Carolina. I can't believe Carolina's on this 4-pack pick, Brian. Carolina's relevant. What are we doing here? They've won a couple games in a row. They've got a running game. Things are starting to gel. Interesting. But Vegas doesn't think it's too interesting. They are underdogs by more than a touchdown. 7.5. Home dog at home and not favored. Underdog. Buffalo supposed to win, right, Brian? Are they?
Well, what did you have for the quarterback, the old quarterbacks club? What do you call that?
Oh, get off my lawn, quarterback.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think we're gonna have somebody who's looking to come back on the line, and that's Andy Dalton. I mean, he's not quite over 40, but he's close, and he'll be starting for the Panthers. I mean, my goodness, I guess it makes sense. But so the Bills are heavy favorites. The Panthers will likely be without their starting quarterback, as I mentioned, which probably weakens them further. Buffalo coming off a bye week, they're well rested, and they're visiting Carolina, but who cares? Buffalo Bills, they're one of the elite teams in the league. Whether or not they've been playing like it all season long, which they haven't, but they've shown signs for sure. Give me the Bills all day long. They're gonna do maybe not so much, but they're gonna do to the Panthers what Kansas City did to the Raiders.
Wow.
Watch it.
I still want to take Carolina and ride this little mini bandwagon winning streak they're on, and hope the Red Rifles back with a great quarterback performance for them, meaning Andy Dalton, his nickname. But I think you're right, Brian. Buffalo is so elite. I this could be an 8.5 point, 10 point spread, and I'd still take Buffalo, I believe. I'm hoping for Carolina, but my head tells me Buffalo. My heart tells me Carolina. I'm going to stick with my head. The heart's got me a lot of trouble in relationships, and I'm going to stick with that lesson in life and stick with my head on the Buffalo here pick.
So, so
I'm
like
gonna,
James, so like James Taylor, he says he's going to Carolina's mind, but you go with it in your heart, right?
oh, I love it, Ryan. Good call. And then I'm give me the Buffalo Williams to win this, not the Bills, the
All right.
Williams.
Yes, if you've been tuning in, you'll understand that. Okay, we've got the Cowboys, the up and down Cowboys visiting
Mhm.
Denver, the one quarter, fourth quarter Broncos. Broncos are favored in this game by 3.5 points. I'd say they're modest favorites. Dallas is capable on offense, but hasn't been rock solid. And they're playing away in Denver, which is never easy. You got to get acclimated to that elevation. I think that Denver's riding high right now after that fourth quarter comeback, and they're going to cover here. The Cowboys are not going to deliver. So give me the Broncos with 3.5 points.
All right, we're finally going opposite here, Brian.
All right.
Um, I got to take Dallas on this one. I know that they can't stop, what I say last week, a fly into honey, but their defense kind of showed up a little bit last week, but I'm still not buying it as then, it's solved. The issue is solved. I still think their defense is very porous and needs a lot of help. However, their offense finally seems to click. Dak Prescott's been one of the best quarterbacks all season. He just needs some damn weapons around him. Finally, CD Lamb's a little back right now. I like that. The running game is finally starting to click. And so give me Dallas.
All right.
All right, Bry. Next on the docket here, pick number 3 on the four pack. San Francisco 49ers at the Houston Texans. And the Texans are minus 1.5. Let me take this one here, start off at least. San Francisco getting no respect, huh? First place in their division. What's going on here? Houston reeling and they're favored. I'm thinking the reason this is the case is because Brock Purdy, I believe, is not back yet. Still got Mac Jones, who's been doing a great job starting. McCaffrey finally took off last week. Finally got a 100-yard rushing season going. 100-yard rushing game, excuse me. Hasn't done that all season. He looked awesome. The defense is beat up. They've lost a lot of guys to injury. But you know what? Robert Saleh, defensive coordinator, ex-Jets head coach, came back to San Francisco, is doing an awesome job with the team. He's got guys playing out of their mind right now. Next man up. That's what it's all about. Niners are gelling right now with a beat-up squad. And Houston, oh, gosh, it's ugly over there. The wheels are starting to fall off. Is C.J. Stroud just regressing here another year? Come on, guys. They don't have a running game to speak of right now. Chubb's not doing it. They've got a rookie, Marks. I don't know if he's going to do it. I'm talking myself out of this. Give me San Francisco. Give me the road team. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'll take the points.
Yeah, this one is interesting. No respect here for the 49ers and their kicker. Just it's simple stats here. I'm just looking at the standings, and there's the points for and points against column. Texans are the only team with double digits points given up. Everyone else is 100 or more, well over 100, maybe even 200. Some of these teams, so they've only given up 88 points so far this season. So obviously their defense is doing something right. They're keeping the teams out of the end zone. But San Francisco's always finding a way to win. No matter despite all their injuries. So I think my like you said, it's like a pick 'em right here. But
Mm-hmm.
for the sake of entertainment, I am going with the Texans. I'm going to go
Nice.
against you, buddy. So
If it makes you feel any better, great analysis there, Brian, because last night, late burning the midnight oil, I picked up Houston's defense on the waiver wire, my fantasy team. So
nice.
yeah, got that going for you.
There you
Okay,
go.
here we go. Pick number 4, Brian. Little big name teams going at it here. Green Bay Packers at Pittsburgh Steelers. 2 proud franchises, eh? Lots of NFL titles to their name, Super Bowl champs on both sides here. Pittsburgh at home, home dog, underdog at home, plus 3.5. Green Bay's looking good, but they got that one tie, remember, against Dallas. That's got to leave a bad taste in their mouth. Aaron Rodgers is his old team. Is that right, Brian? Is that the headline here?
That's the headline for sure. It is.
I'm just going to throw it out there really quick and say, give me Green Bay to boat race Pittsburgh.
Okay. All right. I cannot doubt Aaron Rodgers and his determination. Dude, the guy plays out of his mind. Let's just be honest. I don't like the guy personally, but I don't know him personally either. So, but that's just because he's been wearing a Packer uniform his whole career, pretty much. But he is still slinging it. DK Metcalf is going to start stepping up a little bit. Mike Tomlin is an excellent coach. Home dog, baby. Underdog, home dog. Come on. Pittsburgh all day long. Come on. Give me the Steelers.
Wow, Brian. Okay. That'll be a fun one to watch, huh?
Yeah,
That's
for
going to be
sure.
a great game. That's going to be a good
Yeah.
one. Did you see Rodgers last week?
Huh?
Go ahead.
I was going to say the Steelers uniforms, from based on my research, should knock them down 3 points anyway.
Did you see last week when the I think his offensive lineman jumped on Rodgers to celebrate? And
Yes.
he is he's such an old man. There it is. Get off my lawn. He's pushing him away, not having fun. Hey, dude, you just scored. Have some fun.
I know. He's all business, man, but he's like, get off my back.
Right.
That's funny.
All right. That's funny. All right. Let's move along here, Brian. We're getting to the end of the show. Once again, thanks for listeners and viewership out there. We've been doing this 4 years now. We're having fun. We couldn't do it without you. Green Dog Blitz. Let a friend know. Subscribe. Hot Mess Express time, Brian. And if our listeners know, it's a mainstay. We finish off with a Hot Mess Express every episode. Whoop, whoop. Vegas Raiders. All aboard. You're riding the Hot Mess Express. Fresh off a 31-0 butt kicking at Kansas City. Kansas City beat you so bad down. It's time to look at the mirror, Raiders. You like what you're seeing? I don't. No fight, zero pride. They got their butts wiped. So now it's time to put on the dunce cap and then sit in the corner. Come on, guys. What are you doing? Head coach Pete Carroll and offensive coordinator Brian Kelly experiment. Looks like more like the odd couple than they are teammates, right? I mean, come on. They can't throw. They can't run. You want to know why? They have no offensive line. It doesn't give them any time to set up plays or their play calls to execute anything. The Raiders have the worst offensive line in the NFL, and that means you got to look at the offensive line coach. Wait for it. Brennan Carroll. You got to go. This ain't no family affair. Do the right thing, Pete Carroll. Fire your son on the offensive line as his coach. He is not making it work. He's bringing down everything. Carroll, got to get rid of him. The other Carroll, because right now, Kelly can't make any plays because he's got no time. The offensive line's not giving it to him. It's bugging me. Hot Mess Express, Raiders, get off it or you're going down.
Nice. I bet the biggest fans of the Raiders right now are the Jets, so they're not on the Hot Mess Express, right? All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us again for episode 8 of season 4 of the Green Dog Blitz. We wouldn't be here without you, so thank you for listening. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite listening app of choice and always share it with your friends. If you're tuning into YouTube, I always like this little new thing that Yerban's got with his gnome. Check it out. All right, we want to hear from you. So shoot us an email at greendogblitz@yahoo.com and let us know what you think. Ask us a question. We'll add it to our show. All right, everybody. A lot of teams are on bye this week. We didn't mention that. So if your team's playing, may your team win. Good luck with that. Start each week by tuning into the Green Dog Blitz with Anderson and Agobian. We'll catch you next week.
Whoop, whoop, and head up for our Halloween episode coming up next week.